dying with leukemia. And he was pitiful. He was about 10 years old. And he was dying. He wasn't far from death at that point. And God touched that little boy. They sent us a card when we got back from the revival and said, "Thank you for coming. Our baby's getting better every day." Amen. There was a man in Florida called us. We was in Florida in revival, and there was a strange person called us and wanted to know where the song came from, and I told him the story. He said, I was a principal of the school. I was a pastor for several years, and he said, my wife passed away, and my life has been going downhill ever since. But he said, one day I got in my vehicle, and I said, I'm not suffering no more. I'm just going to end my life. He got in his vehicle and laid his weapon by his side. And he was on his way to take his own life. But on the radio, you see why we record? We don't record to be looked upon. We record because God is going to reach somebody. He said, in my vehicle, there was a lady came on and she was saying, I believe, I believe, I believe. And he said that day something hit me in my spirit. And it was so humongous and strong, I pulled off of the road, and God delivered me from suicide and depression. I just had to know where that song came from, he said. And I said, well, brother, it's got a long story behind it. But today, if you got a problem, your children got a problem, if you need a miracle, if your children need to be delivered, if you need anything from God, the story doesn't even stop there. That song went through Florida and touched a mother and dad whose son was in an accident on the highway, 20 years old, died instantly. They pulled the sheet over the boy's head. And God had spoke to that mother and dad as we sang this song and told them they were going to soon see a move of God that they would never understand so much in God. This boy laid on the highway dead with a sheet over him, and mom and dad met him there. And as they knelt before their son, the daddy said, all is well. They picked him up to carry him to the hospital to pronounce him officially dead. When they got there, the boy began to come alive. I mean, he was dead, brother. And in that hospital, that mother took this song and went and put this song on and played it every day. God healed this young man, and he was totally crushed. It was impossible without God for him to live. But I went back later to a revival again, and there was a young man got up and come out of his seat, was coming toward me. And when he got to where I was, he laid his little head on my chest and said, sing, I believe. And as I began to sing, he began to dance. A boy that was crushed, completely crushed in this area, and he danced the whole song. I'm telling you, God is still raising the dead. Amen. We just need some people who are willing hearts. If we're willing and obedient, he said, we get the good of the land. And he keeps his promises. And if you'll play on the, I believe, track number 3, I'll sing you this song. Amen. I believe you walked on water in the midst of that sea. I believe. I believe. I believe you healed the sick. You set the captives free. Lord, I believe. I believe. I believe in the Father. Lord, I believe in the Son. And I believe in that precious Holy Ghost. Yes, I do. Lord, I believe you sent your Son to earth. Well, they nailed him to the tree. I believe. And I just kept talking to him. Lord, I believe you cleansed leper. Preach the gospel to the poor. I believe, Lord, and I believe you said, trust in me and live forevermore. I believe, Lord, I believe in the Father. I believe in the Son. Lord, I believe in that precious, precious Holy Ghost. And I believe you sent your Son to earth. He died on the tree. I believe. And sometimes our troubles get heavier. Lord, I believe you fed a whole multitude with just a few fish in the boat. Lord, I believe. I believe. And it even gets worse. Lord, I believe you went to that old tomb, raised Lazarus from the dead after 4 days. Lord, I believe. I believe. And you know that day when I began to stand to my feet from my bedside, I was so brand new. I said, God, I'll never sit down again. I'll never, Lord, fail to do what you give me to do. Lord, I'll always go for you. No matter what it costs me, I'll go for you. And the Lord showed me that day that He had charge of my life, and He was the one that gives me life. He is the one, the Bible said, Paul said, in Him I live and move and have my being. It's because of Him today that I stand in this beautiful sanctuary and exalt the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And without Him, we can do nothing. But because He lives, we can face tomorrow. Because He lives, we can make it to see the light of another day. It's because of Him that I can stand before you and say, I know this man. Do you know Him? He's my King. Do you know Him? He's my King, brother. Oh, I wouldn't trade Him for the whole world and all that's in it. Because I believe in Him. Because I believe in Him. And He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. He'll never fail you. Amen. He'll never